IMPA for the last so many years, and it's all because of each one of you. The pandemic held us back, but yes, we are still going strong, and we have the largest collectives even for our internal meetings and the external ones. And I'm really proud of each one of you for making that happen. So today we have our very own. Why do I say our very own? Because he is an image consultant, first of all. He is an author who's authored the book Little Me in Everyone, which has become popular not only nationally but internationally. He's just won an award for the book that he wrote. And besides this, he is a mental wellness coach, he is an NLP expert, he's a hypnotherapist, and the good things that you've already read in the poster. But what you people don't know is that Eddie Singh is also a car racer. Eddie Singh is a natty dresser. And I can say that because I have taught him. And when he came into ICBI, I was called one day and said, "Ma'am, एक क्लास तो आपको लेनी पड़ेगी. एक लड़का है जो बिल्कुल नहीं सुनता, फटी हुई जीन्स पहन के क्लास में आता है. So please help us." So I said, okay. And दूसरी बात, मैम जो भी ट्रेनर लगा दो उसकी क्लास में एडी सिंह सोता है. Right? So these were two challenges that I was given, that you have to look after Eddie Singh. And he never gave me trouble, even a single day. He was a gentleman, dressed to the hilt. And I can proudly say that he never slept in a class of mine. And he used to tell everybody, Renu ma'am's class is the only class jisme main sota nahi hu. And he used to say it openly. Okay. And he evolved with time. He's done very well. And he was the only Christian Kanhaiya in the class. And he had all the ladies eating out of his hand. So those are some of his specialities. And he's gone on to do so well, written this book, which is making ripples all over. And he's amongst the 10 best authors. And we are actually privileged to have him here, speaking to each one of us, helping us realize our dream of authoring a book. So over to you, Eddie Singh, a very warm welcome. I'm so proud of you for what you have done and made each one of us proud. A big round of applause for him. Well done.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for the kind words and the memories shared of the college we attend with you. Yes, I was the one who used to sit at the last and used to sleep at many a times, because when topic just starts repeating and repeating, I just lose that control over my mind, and my mind goes to a hibernation dream and other stuff. Anyways, so those are backbenchers. So I was one of them. Yes, coming to ICBI, my attire, my profession, my role, my goal was completely different. I was there for a separate purpose. So yes, ICBI helped me a lot. In fact, Renu ma'am helped me a lot in redesigning and restructuring my overall persona in terms of wearing clothes and, taking up the next leap of becoming a professional. So
Eddie, I'm going to interrupt over here 1 minute. I must tell all of you that we were doing a clustering class. And I told all the students that they have to bring 5 outfits of theirs, and that's how we're going to talk about it. And Eddie Singh brought these black lace shirts and gold shimmery shirts. You should have seen the classroom. It was like, Charu, do you remember that? And he shocked the world with his red shoes and black lace shirts.
But yes, ma'am, totally resonate. Totally
resonate. But the good part was that no matter what he did, he was a very keen observer. And even with half his eyes closed, he had memorized the entire lesson. So that's kudos to you, Eddie Singh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for talking so much about me. Today, primarily writing a book, and the topic here that everyone comes up with an idea in their mind where everyone wants to write a book. So I was telling ma'am just a few minutes back that this idea was hailing in my mind in my young days. that one day I will, do something like this and I will write a book. Never such thought that writing a book would be on myself, but writing a book was an achievement in everyone's mind. So from those days, the progress kept happening and the evolution happening, and I was transforming from one identity to another identity. So 2006, when I started as an entrepreneur. Before that, I was a vice president with Mudra. And then in 2010 and 12, I got into racing, that to be big time racing, and I won Raid the Himalaya, the biggest race on the planet, in 2012. From there, I started a work business out of it, and then started training people how to race and how to actually get into motorsports. From there, again, the journey, like I have always believed that we all have, phases in life, the transition phases in life. So if you see that every human being goes through a turning point in their lives, which through the psychological research and through other ways where people have studied, that turning point comes in everyone's life either in 5 years or in 10 years. So if you go back, say 3 decades, you will see your transformation in different ways. Every 5 years, every 10 years, there is a complete shift in the personality. There is a new identity which is revealed, which you were not aware 10 years back. So the dots keep happening, and if we connect, and then we see a new personality, a new persona. So I personally believe that only humans are privileged to go through metamorphosis of their mind as many times as they can, right? While we just see the butterfly turning from a larva to a butterfly, that is one-time process where the physicality is changed and you get the wings and you can fly. But human mind is having that capacity to reinvent every time when they feel the need, every time when they want to take up the next step. So there is no limitation for us to reinvent ourselves in every few years. So that has been a part of my journey in 2015, 16, when I started learning about emotions. I started learning about how the mind works. So from there, the journey of being a life coach, to learning NLP, to hypnotherapy, to shamanism, to all sorts of knowledges which are interconnected. So all that bring together, made me a mind coach. So I started developing my brand called Life Mechanic around 5 years back. So today, under that, I do a lot of mind coaching and stuff. So last year, pandemic was the time when, things really got onto the nerves, and, all I was doing was nothing, just coaching people. So that was the time when I finally decided, okay, let's do something, let's start writing a book. So everyone out here, I'm sure whoever has ever thought about writing a book, they already have a basic idea in their mind as to, we have to write something, we have to do something. So before we get into the process of how to actually write a wonderful book, let me just take you through a small journey of mine, what I have learned, how I conceive things, and how I made it to the final mark. So I'm just going to share a small PPT here, which would
Eddie,
help
can
you
you come
to...
closer to the mic? Eddie, can you please come closer to the mic? We lose you at points. Yes. Thank
Hello?
you. Yeah.
Is it audible, ma'am?
It is, but it's not very sharp. When you come forward, we hear you much better.
Okay. Is it audible now?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, if you see, achieve your dreams of becoming an author. So I will just take you down through my journey, that how I started it. Like everyone, I also had a very vivid dream of writing a book. It definitely sounds very fascinating, anybody who thinks of writing a book. But at the same time, the dilemma which bothers you inside, should I write a book? I mean, is it actually worth it? And then from that dilemma, you get into a contemplation mode of, is it actually required? Do I leave everything and start writing a book? Now, this dilemma, this contemplation puts you onto a platform of doubt. The doubt which creeps in everyone's mind saying this, I don't have any experience. What if I am unable to do it? Now, these are actually the processes which were happening in my mind while I was contemplating or thinking any time about the book. Then the biggest struggle which I started facing was to shift my priorities to make up time to write a book. Now, being a mind coach, being an entrepreneur, being doing a lot of other things, so you really do not have that time bracket where you can fix in, that time where you can write, silently and in a quiet place. And not last, but yes, we all human beings look forward for a push and a kind of an approval from our peers, from our friends, and all that. So that sounds crazy when you go and talk to your friends and say, "Hey, I want to write a book." And of course, nobody will say, "What are you talking? You can." But it sounds crazy to many people on that aspect. So then the conflict started. My thoughts, my idea, and my sleeping at ICBI, in the class, that daydreaming, that went to an extent and pushed me to that real edge where I was sitting in my comfort zone. I have done whatever, but it is quite decent enough to keep on surviving for many years. Things are rolling. I'm sure everyone here is almost on the similar platform that even if we sit today and don't do much, we still be able to survive for many, many, many good years with the same kind of comfort. So when I was cornered by my thoughts and wisdom, then I was left with, sorry, no choice but to leave my comfort zone and that laziness. I'm a Leo, so I do things only on the last minute. I cannot do prepare 15 days in advance. So I had that habit of procrastinating it. Okay, I'll do it. कोई बात नहीं कल से करते tomorrow Sunday, tomorrow for sure we're going to do it. But that Sunday never came. So I have to push myself of leaving that comfort zone and that procrastination. By that time also, once I was ready, I had no idea from where to start. I mean, what to write. That was just an idea to write a book. But what exactly, I had no idea. So left with no other option but to write. So I start scribbling for a small note. So one night I literally decided today I will start writing what I don't know. But dreams are very innate to me. I mean, that is something I thrive on. I look on to dreams and then I run forward to convert those desired things into reality. So I sat one night, around 1:30 until 6 in the morning, I was just writing on a concept called dreams. And it was a very clearly 8th of June last year when I started writing my first blog. It is still there, called Castle of Dreams. That was the time, that was my first blog on 8th of June 2020. So now again, when you do something, you go for acknowledgement, and the next day morning, I was like, morning 6 o'clock, I'm sending to everybody, hey, look, I've written something, and by afternoon, of course, everyone will say, oh wow, it's wonderful, you've written good. But that does not suffice. Nobody will say it's bad. So to keep up my confidence building situation, I kept on writing for next few nights without, really looking forward that how is it turning, how things are, how situation will come up. So every post which I used to write for myself, not for others on my blog, that gives me a different understanding of how my writing is, what I really want to, tell people, and or what I really, the message I want to pass on. So in just few days, I stopped seeking feedback from friends to, to actually look on to whether, it is making sense or not. So in next 10, 15 days, I was writing. On 23rd June 2020 last year, I was pretty sorted in my head that I have a title which was very clear, because all these days I was talking to myself only. I find nobody around when I was sitting in the night. And I think that is with everybody. In the night, when you are on the bed, you are not talking to anybody, you are talking to yourself, to your little one inside. So I thought how wonderful that is. So that was the concept which, worked on in my mind, and I finalized my title called Little Me in Everyone. From there, it's no looking back. It was sheer dedication and routine on a daily basis without fail, which was a journey of almost 9 to 10 months, where I was just writing with a target in mind. I have to do at least 2,000 words a day, at least 2,500 words a day. But it's very easy to say writing 1,500, 2,000 words a day. But when you start writing, you get into lot of self-doubt and other situations. So from there, that journey happened, and in 9 months, that entire hard work took a shape of a book, and then started the multiple editings. I have edited it 17 times, personally looking on to every aspect of it. Because every time I used to read the book, I used to go and lost into my own life. So the essence was lost. I was just reading the words. So it took me 17 times to edit it. And then one wonderful thing which I did with my friends was that I started keeping book reading sessions in the night at my friend's place. So by the time I was finished with my entire thing, so I used to go to my friends, call 5, 6 people, and start narrating what I have written. From there, a lot of feedback started churning up in my entire book. So now the most important question: why should you write a book? This is something which everybody would have in their mind, stating ki why should we write a book? So my experiences says that if you write a book, it creates a legacy which cannot die, even if you are not there, even with your children and your grandchildren. There is something to look upon, sharing your life experiences. So that is very, very wonderful thing. When you share your life experiences, you not only share knowledge, but you also learn a lot of wisdom from other people. Third, the most important is passing the knowledge to the younger generation. So if you see that what we learn from our parents is primarily 30%, if I ask you how much you know about your great grandparents, I mean, you might not have the complete information. We are only passed with 30% of the information from our parents, from our grandparents, right? And the rest 70% is lost. So when you write a book, you are basically creating manuscripts for the younger generation to come read and understand what you've been through, how you have behaved. We really had no idea how our grandparents have lived, how they performed ritual, or, small information of wisdom. It is all just gone with the generation. It also helps people around to learn from your stories and experiences and mistakes, right? We humans are built of not only the living experiences, but the mistakes also makes us more wiser every time we look at. We all have unique stories, believe me. It's not me, it's not Renu ma'am, it's not Shruti or anybody. Every individual has a very, very unique story. A story which is different from every human being. I mean, 7 billion people have different stories. a different set of enigma they carry. So we all have been through a turbulent and rough patches in life. So let people know, let people read your stories, learn from those horrible things which have already happened in the past. You know, from those small learnings is what we can act more wisely. We can have a more profound and a happier life. So these are the few things when the question comes into your mind, why should you write a book? So now the biggest breaker, the expectation. You know, it is so programmed in our mind when we want to do something, even if we want to buy something, we have a program, a chemical which says, what do you expect? Even if in getting into a relationship, there is an expectation. Even when you're buying something, there is an expectation. Now, when you're talking about a dream so innately to you, right, by writing a book, for sure, the expectation levels are like skyrocketing and sky high. So let's understand what is the expectation everyone in on this forum has. You know, the first thing, will I be a bestseller? That is the first and the foremost thing, even if we have written the first page, even if we decided the title. So that's how the cyclic loop in mind puts you into doubt and confusion. Will people like it? Now, this is very important to understand. We are not writing to make people love what we have written. We are writing to share our own experience. When your experience is put into wisdom and learning, there is no way people will not like it. And it does not matter whether somebody liked it or not. You have written what your wisdom says. You have experienced what you have experienced. That cannot be copied or transmuted by anybody else. Now, being an image consultant, being into the business of image industry, the biggest thing is we will be judged. The moment we write something, you know, it will be judged. I was told more than 100 times on in that 1 year, Eddie, be very careful because you're gonna write, you're writing almost every aspect and facet of your life. So people is gonna judge you. People will think that you're vulnerable. People will think that you missed down. People will know that you were a failure at one point in time. So that all things comes in. Will people like it? Will I be judged? Now, before even the book is, the manuscript is even 10% done, we come up with the question, who will buy it? Will somebody buy my book or not? What will be the reality? What will be the cost? How much will I earn from the book? Now, these are all questions which keeps you into a cyclic loop and stops you from taking that one action, that one step forward to actually start writing it. And then the biggest fear comes in, what if it turns out to be a biggest disaster? You have written horror and it turns out to be a comedy. Like in many Bollywood movies we see, they start with a comedy and turns out to be a horror and a horror into a comedy. Right? So we always inevitably think from these experiences from Bollywood movies and stuff. But writing is something different from what movies and what we've been shown. So do not get into that situation that whether it will be a disaster, because that doubt itself puts you miles away from success, because you are now operating from a point of doubt. Last but not the least, will I become a laughing stock in my group? People who did not know what I did at the age of 17, people who did not know what I did at the age of 35. Now everyone knows about it. So how about when I go to social gathering, will I become a laughing stock because people know everything about me? So let me tell you friends that showing your vulnerable side is not weakness. Understanding your vulnerability and working on your vulnerability, working on your weaknesses makes you more strengthful rather than weak in front of people. Now, after expectations, once you are a published author, what do you get? First, it sets you apart from the rest of your crowd or peer group in which you are working within your industry. So everyone is working in a kind of a peer group. So that sets you apart the moment you are a published author. It improves your credibility to the highest level because you had the courage to put your thoughts into words and then publish it. So that gives you a lot of credibility within the industry standards and market. It automatically gives you an authority to understand words, emotion, and then express it into writing. Because also it is very important because once you are a published writer, you automatically open another source of income for yourself, right? So whatever you're doing, being an image consultant, being an entrepreneur, being a doctor or whatever, apart from that, you have opened an ATM for yourself. The moment you are a published writer, the moment your book is launched, you will receive a royalty inevitably for the rest of your life. Even when you are not on this planet, your children, your great grandchildren will keep eating that royalty. So this is one time hard work, one time work, and which gives you fruit for the rest of your life. The most important thing which I felt after writing the book is that it changes your life completely. How? Because now you are no more vulnerable. Now you are no more weaker. Now you have understood what you have been through. Now you can look at the past and see how far you have come. So it changes your life completely in a different format altogether. You actually become the best version of yourself because what you have written now is the past. And since you were able to write and overcome all those hurdles and fears, so you have already upgraded yourself to the next best possible version of yourself. I don't need to say recognition that comes tremendously over and over. Once you are a published author, you do not need to run for people to recognize. You are automatically, your work will perform and the recognition will come in all formats and forms. Now, I think I'm not going very fast. People are able to understand. Okay.
Great.
Now, for many people, writing a book could be a dream for a very long period of time. But at the same time, what is that big idea which can work? So, writing a book has been a lifelong dream, not only because it's always seemed out of reach, also because there's a secret formula, which you need to unlock your creativity and show, how to write a book that will actually make this entire dream come true. So now let me just take you through few slides which I have written and try to make it easy for everyone to understand and just follow it and see if this can turn your dream into reality. So the one thing you absolutely need to write a book is of course an idea. So let's start with the first basic understanding that how do you generate that idea, of writing a book. Now, if you do not have an idea, so for sure, if you do not have an idea what to write, you will not even be able to write the first few pages of the draft. You may already have known what you want to write because there might be a situation where you understand from years that I have to write on this particular topic. It's not necessary that everyone should come up with a biography or with self-proclaimed prophecies. At times you see a lot of stigmas in the society. At times you see a lot of gaps in the society where the knowledge, the awareness is not there. So probably that is the big idea, where you can fill that gap, where you can cover up and come up with that big idea where people would be interested in understanding and knowing. So now the few questions which which will arise in your mind would be, what do I want to write about? What is that? Is it a story? Is it a novel? Is it a thriller? Is it an educational thing? Is it about the wisdom, the intellect? I mean, what is that you want to write about? Second, what do I feel is important to write about? Now, this is giving back to the society from where we all progressed and evolved as a beautiful human beings and professionals. I think we all are in that category now where we have received enough from the mother nature, enough from the society. And we are blessed right now to be positioned on a platform where we are able to impact the life of others. So more so it becomes a responsibility for us as an individual to find out a topic or an idea where we feel the actual need is there. Yeah. So the next thing comes in, who will want to read about the story or the subject. Now this is primarily on to your idea. If your idea is to share wisdom, knowledge, then for sure you do not need to think who will read it. If your subject is interesting and there are gaps, there are no knowledge bands available, then for sure this is going to be a very strong hit in terms of the topic you're going to select. Now, after you are done with the idea, one thing which will, keep hampering your mind, will I be able to carry this idea effectively? Because writing just 5 pages of, 1,000 words or 2,000 words on a topic is a blog, right? Now, many blogs put together, then it becomes one book of wisdom. Now, so will you be able, if you thought of an idea, will you be able to actually narrate and explain in a complete manner that it can become a complete wisdom book? Now, your answers to these questions will help you narrow it down to the best option possible for you. Now, these are the few questions which I pondered upon while I was in the contemplation mode of doing what and how. Now, for example, if you have several different ideas for a book, but not one that you're truly passionate about and feel you can pull off, then voila, there's your premise. If you are really grasping at straws, considering your creative prompts or even a plot generator to get the ball rolling. So you do not need to start with something like कि मुझे आज book शुरू करना है and आज खत्म करके ही रहना है. You can start with small concepts, small idea, small plots. If you see our daily life are filled with so many small events which at times touches our heart, which at times breaks our heart. So I would suggest that if you can start writing on a daily basis, on small ideas by keeping a journal or creating a journal of writing. So today you found one dog who was limping outside your house. So you called up the animal care and sent that dog for treatment. Now this could be a very miraculous event for you, right? How you would be able to put that into words and can create some learning and wisdom for others is the big idea. So you might stumble upon interesting concept or story elements of big idea at times for your book. But on the other hand, these lack of ideas, when you are not clear, when you're not sure what exactly is to be written, will actually steer you to a better direction. Because the more number of questions, the more the talk which you will do within yourself to finalize your big idea is basically taking you a step closer to writing your book. I would also suggest that you think about kind of books you love to read. because every person inevitably have few genres in their mind, which they love, and they've been reading on those genres for years. Yes, of course, every few years we add on new genres, we add on, new kind of situations. But yes, innately we know this is the road on which we want to go. So if you like those books, so just start reading them. Or if you like some genre but you haven't able to read it much, so you can probably get involved into reading new genres and see if that can actually create that significant impact while you are writing. Now, once you find that big idea, the next step is research. Research your genre again. If you're writing a sort of book you like to read, your leg is already up. I mean, you already onto that genre. Reading books in genre is far best way to learn how to write in that genre yourself. But if not, you will want to select a couple of representative titles and analyze them. It is not necessary that what we like is what we are able to write also. At times there are a lot of contemplation happening at the back of mind. We ourselves are not aware about all the talents and intellect we have. It gets unlocked with time. The more you expose to new experiences, the more you are exposed to reading, you will unlock the next level, the next channels. Now, few questions which will come is that how long are they and how many chapters do they have? How does the story structure look like? Now, these are some typical questions when you will try and do the outlining of your work, the research part of it. You will also see that in your genre, the genres which you are selecting, there are already few books which are already aligned in that genre. So I would say that when you're doing research, which is very important before you actually finalize your title, go to Amazon, go to Goodreads, and just see, what is that top selling thing, what is that area where there are not many books which are there. What are the areas where you feel that the lack of knowledge, the lack of wisdom is there. You will see certain books and you say, bus, sirf 80 pages. I think a lot can be done on this. So probably that's your big idea. So it is not important. See, there is nothing new on this planet. Everything is already done many and multiple times in multiple ways. It is always the presentation and the binding of wisdom which works, right? My life story could be different from your life story, but at the same time, the circumstances and the stages of life would remain same. So there where your research would help you a lot in terms of finding a right genre for your book, a right title for your book. Now, making an outline. Now, before you could actually start writing and start writing a book, I would suggest you guys to create a structure, an outline. The way in image, the way we make our clothes. Before we stitch the cloth, we create an outline, a structure that this is how the entire cloth will be, cut, and these are the outlines which we have to work on. So you need to outline it first. This is especially important if it's your first book, because you would have no idea from where to start and where to end. So a solid blueprint is what is required when you start making the outline of it. You can also pick a format that works for you. Now there are different formats of writing a book. If you go and see, there are different authors who write in a different manner. There are different types of outlines. It could be free flowing mind map, that a story started with one character and then goes to a multiple characters and ends up into something else. Or it could be a chapter wise, structuring where you see that every chapter is unfolding and going to a progressive stage of next particular event, right? Or it could be a character based outline where the entire story is revolving around one or two major characters, where the story is progressing with every growing experience of that character and so on. So this is how the outlines basically work. Now, having a beginning of the book, the middle and the end, obviously this everyone knows that the book will start with the beginning and there comes and the center part and it has to end with something where there's a closure, where there is a summary of everything. Now remember, the best books have endings that feel earned. So you should try to be building towards it from the start. So when you're starting the book, you should be very clear that what is the main objective when it summarizes to the end, how it will shape up, what is there the reader will take away from the book, right? So many a times you see that you open a book and it's just first two pages and you're done. You say, no, this is not what I can go with. And very surprisingly, I have seen people where people start reading the book from the last page. They will stand at the airport and they'll pick the book. They will start with the last few pages to see how it is summarized. So there are different ways how the readers are basically viewing the book. Consider your conflict points, because when you are making an outline, you would also come up with conflicting points. At one place, your character, which you have already described, was in past, and in certain few events, he becomes future. So there could be a conflict of points there. There could be a conflict of ideas. You started with one kind of a wisdom, and then suddenly it reached to the next level of stage. So consider those points which are conflicting, because they are not obstacles. Because many writers, they get into that zone where they have conflicting points and they are stuck. And from there, they do not move on. So conflict is at the heart of any good book. It draws in the reader, conjures tensions and emotions, and ultimately reflects the theme or a message you want to convey. So you don't have to know exactly where your conflict will manifest. It will go along with the storyline the more you start writing and working. You should have a pretty good grasp on how it works throughout your book. If you're writing a chapter based book, so get to know your chapters well. And if you haven't done much, then you can also work on to a storyline which is based on character. So if your storyline is a character based storyline, so there you need to know your character well. You have to actually start living that character, day by day, so that you can progress on your book for the development of your outline. Now let's get into the actual writing and make a dent in your first draft. One of the most important parts of writing a book is starting the story. Now, where do you start from? How will you start the story? That is one thing which is already covered in your outline, because the first few pages can actually be the gist of the coming chapters ahead. It's no exaggeration to say your first few pages can make or break your book. If these pages aren't good enough, many readers will lose interest, possibly never returning to read your book again. So first off, you need an opening hook that grabs the reader. The first few pages are actually those pages which grabs the attention and make it possible for them to look away. Now, the substance part of the book. So if you will focus on the substance part, see, many writers believe that the key to writing an amazing book is style, but I personally feel that substance is far more important when you are writing a book, even for the first time. So hence, you should focus primarily on the plot, the characters, the conflict, and the theme. Now, make sure your book is a killer, not a filler. See, it is not about how many words you have written, right? So when I started writing, initially my target was I will do 20,000 words, and I think that's going to be big enough. By the time I reached 15,000 words, I realized, oh my God, this is nothing. It is not possible to write a complete story in 20,000 words. So I raised my target that I will do 50,000 words. Now, the more I was progressive in writing day by day, by the time in 4 months' time, I reached 50,000 words, and I still see it is just half the story. I mean, I really cannot leave it here. So I also contemplated how about I make two parts. I just do first 50,000 word in part one and then the next one in part two. But it doesn't work like that. So make sure that you are not getting into filling the pages by adding just some information to increase the number of pages of the book, right? So when you get to a patchy outline section, it's tempting to keep writing. You are writing on a topic, so you can keep adding more words, more words, more words to fill up the page. So it's kind of a literally gymnastics in your mind which is happening while you're writing. So, but that's exactly where the content is, filler, right? And if you have too much of it, readers will become frustrated and start to think pretentious. Now, this is another reason why outlining, which I'm focusing again and again, is very important. So, from the outline part, you can decide that, my first half of the book should have these number of words, my second half should have these number of book words. You need to know your story in order to stay track with it. Now, how will you need to know your story is that while you're sleeping, while you're eating, while you're drinking, while you're working, while you're driving, now every time your subconscious mind is running on the book. So every time while you're working anything, it's like when you fell in love, when you fell in relationship, whether that person is rightly in front of you or not, it doesn't matter. Your subconscious mind is continuously vibrating to that person. उसने खाना खाया, वो सो गया, वो उठा, वो जागा, वो नहाया, नहीं गया, ऑफिस गया. So similarly, your book will become your subconsciously active part of it. So whatever you are doing, your plots are running, your chapters are running. So when you come to your working station and you see that the entire whole day of whatever gymnastics has been done in your mind is now converting to words. Maybe not the exact words, maybe it needs editing, but yes, you have a lot of things which you have gone throughout the day. But besides outlining, here are a few more tips for making substance a priority. Now, every sentence must do one of the two things. Either it should reveal the character or it should be onto an advancement to some action happening in the story, right? Now, you cannot keep dragging one sentence that, okay, he went to that place and he found something and that jewel was there, and then you are writing 15 pages on that. So that would, make the readers really take away aspect from the entire substance. So either reveal the character or advance to some action. Now, if a sentence doesn't accomplish one or both of those things, try removing it. If the passage still makes sense, leave it out. Be conscious of your pacing. Now, slow pacing is also a very strong symptom of describing it excessively. So you're so innately dwelled into that particular topic that you keep writing, and you lately realize that you've written like 35 pages on one small thing which you could describe in 3 pages. Now that gives you a sense of achievement. Yes, I have written 4,000 words, but the substance is primarily diluted in just the filler. So that actually becomes the killer there. Try and write a book that people really enjoy and buy. Now, this is the expectation once you start working on your manuscript, once you've done your first part and you are clear with your substance, then you should always be thinking about your audience and trying to write reader first. What the reader is actually looking to read. Sometimes you will have to write scenes that are very exciting, that are very nerving, but that serves the overall story arc. Don't rush to the scenes, just go them over with. Even if they don't seem interesting to you, they might contribute to the reader's experience by building tension over the next few chapters or over the next few events in the book. Preserving that pacing, and the reader deserves to relish those things, because ultimately, when the reader is reading, it has to be in harmony to what we are writing from the starting. Now, this is one thing where I really got stuck. And this was my biggest problem. I started with a vision of writing 15,000 words, got on to 25,000 words, went to 50,000 words, and then to 75,000 words, and then to 85,000 words, and then to 1,15,000 words. I had no idea that what words are actually, because I started enjoying writing. I had more of a wisdom and intellect to put that into words. Now, it all turned out to be a disaster for me. Why? Because by the time I've written 1,15,000 words, the book became 530 pages. So it became almost a grunt. Now, it is impacting directly to the cost of the book, which means the book started costing 850 rupees. Now, as a beginner, as a first-time author, nobody is going to put 850 rupees to buy a book written by Eddie Singh. I had no idea. But I was in so much of overwhelming stage that I am able to make up 1,15,000 words. Then again, a new exercise started, where I started reducing the word page by page. That's how it took me 17 times to edit the book. So from 1,15,000, I bought it to 95,000. I could not justify it any further by reducing it. I was in so much love with the content I have written. So finally, again, the book came up to 450 pages. The cost is still 520 rupees for a beginner author, which was impossible. My publisher said, it won't work, do something else. I could not do, he said, split it into parts. I could not do it. Then what I did finally, I changed the font size. I reduced the spacing, the sentences. I made it compact. So finally, the book turned out to be 265 pages. So in this book, I compromised on the reality, the royalty part of it, while the cost was coming to 350 rupees plus. So I reduced my royalty part of it so that the readers can buy it. So the book was substantially placed at 265 rupees and 80 rupees on Kindle. So sorry, this was the background to what the word count can actually do if you are not aware at the beginning. So word count goals play a huge part in creating an effective writing process. You should create word count goals for both your individual sessions, writing sessions, per week, per month. So if you're targeting a book which is 50,000 words, so divide those 50,000 words probably in 5 months, which is like 10,000 words a month, which could be again 2,500 words a week, which could be 500 words a day. Right? So this way, if you have your goal and if you are able to keep up a journal of keeping your pace, of tracking what you're writing, then you see that in a desired time, 10 days up or down, you will be there on your target where you are able to achieve the desired result. Now, I have written some tips for making the most of your writing routine. What I suggest that please do not, if you've started it, if you are in that process of writing, if you've written first 5 pages, I think you have won 25% of the battle because you started it. So if you've started it, I would advise do not skip your session of writing, because there are many days when you would want to write, but there is nothing which you can write. The mind is almost away to some other weird situation. But if you sit there on a place where you are writing, the energetic works. So you start writing by whatever comes to your mind, and in 5 minutes time, you see that your mind is positioned to the same situation which you were actually looking at. So this happens very, very frequently with me. I used to sit in the night to write, but by the time I used to sit, I was blank and I was asked what to write. But I kept on writing. However useless, it sounds at times there were days when I have written like 3,000 words, and in the morning I said, "Oh Lord, on what line, what street I have gone to." So unless it is a serious emergency, you should try get back to your session, to your routine, to your timetable which you have made to write those things. Also track your progress week by week. So if you've done like 500 words a day, so if you've written for 5 days, so you should have 2,500 words written in your journal. Now, why I'm saying a journal? Because when your mind sees the words, the numbers, it feels an achievement and accomplishment, because our minds are working on a very basic simple of reward and recognition system which is inbuilt in our mind. So this is a reward to your mind when you see 2,500 words done. So this is the reward which you will get while you are writing the book. Nobody is going to come up and pat your back and say, "Wow, Eddie, you've done like 2,500 words a day." Nobody will come. So your reward center is your mind. So track your progress, create a spreadsheet, and dedicate a time for your writing. I know you guys need to shift your priorities from your work to your being a homemaker to your being a professional to all other things. But if this is structured, then it is structured. As you continue to hit your daily word count goals, you will see that your routine really works. You will feel excited now about your book because something is shaping up. Something little more is coming up in clarity to what your routine and your plan was. Now, the workspace, it is very important. I actually logged myself for almost 8-9 months into a place where I used to just go out on weekends. Only on a Saturday or a Sunday I used to see the light. Rest, I was locked myself into a room, and all my dedication and all my work was to just write and do nothing else. I used to give my office and other priorities 3 hours in a day, that to be no physical touch or connection with anybody. So for me, workspace is very important because I am a person who believes in exchange of energy. So if you sit on a particular place, on a particular time, on every day, you will see that your energetic starts working around you. The vastu of that place, that starts giving an origin, starts generating more energy for you. So that's how I find it very effective for me, that sitting on a particular place. To your surprise, I mostly have written the book standing on the stairs. So I have a stair in my home. It's a beautiful stair. So I used to stand there and I used to write, because the moment I used to sit, I am a dreamer. So I used to get into dreams and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. But while standing, my legs used to pain, my feet used to swell because I was standing at a stretch of 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. So one side that swelling in the feet is making me awake. On the other side, I'm completely dwelled into writing my thoughts. So this could be my different innovative way of writing, not sleeping. You could find yours as well. Maybe you are more wonderful when you are out in a coffee shop and you see people and you are an extrovert and you see ideas and you can write. Maybe you are one of those who could find more solace in standing in the kitchen and writing, after everyone has slept. You could be one of those person who can go to your mandir and find a quiet small place and sit there and write. I mean, it could be anything which is non-distracting. So for me, it is very important. So I used to put earplugs, no noise, a complete blank state of life. So you can find your ways where the workplace can help you, achieving your goals. Now, as things go on, you will also many a times hit the wall. Whether it's a tricky pothole on an outlet of insecurity or simple lack of desire to write. Now, this is writer's block. It comes to every writer. You start with an enthusiasm, you start with a passion, you almost at 70% of your target you've achieved. But at the same time, working on a same thing day by day, every day become very monotonous for the mind. At times you get into self-doubt. So that is called the writer's block. So from there, you need to go back to your main outline. You need to re-understand from where you started, what your vision was, what you have designed, and how is it finally shaping up. So revisit in your outline. This will jog your memory to plant story elements you have forgotten, which may help you find the missing pieces many times. Try some writing exercises. If you stuck with your writing thing, just start writing on any of the topic you find. Many a times I just, to come out of that block, I just start copying what is written in a book for 3, 4, 5 pages. I just started copying. So I am suddenly out of that block and my mind is refreshed because I copied something, some information which has no relevance to the book. So which is again giving a little change to your thing. Share your experiences with your friends whenever you are stuck into that writer's block. So if you're struggling, it will help off to vent your ideas. It will help off bounce back with certain new ideas which your friends or your acquaintances can share that with you. I also strongly suggest that you can take short breaks to do something else. It could not be like mine that the whole day I am just doing nothing but doing this. It could be a project which is done in one complete year. It could be a project which can be done in 2 years. I mean, depending upon your priorities, depending upon your dream, you should decide the timeline. So you can take short breaks while doing something else. You can step away from your keyboard. You can go take a shower. You can go take your meetings. You can come back and, do so. But if you get indulged too much into other situation and this becomes a second and a third and a fourth priority, you will see slowly, gradually in coming days, the momentum is lost. And the moment the momentum is lost and you are on a halt of, say, a week, 10 days, there where your motivation will start declining. There where the new prerogatives, the new priorities will come up, the new things will start attracting you because this is still work in progress. It is not completed. So momentum is important. You cannot leave your project for many days. Then the motivation goes off. Now, most of all, remember to take setbacks in stride and not let them get you down. It is very important. You can stop for a while, but you cannot actually stop writing what you have started. right? So keep calm and carry on. Every day brings new opportunity, new hopes to you, and that will get you through. Now, what if? Now, this is a very interesting thing which I realized over the period of time. I find many people, dwelling into a situation. See, hey, I am a graduate, I'm a postgraduate, but Eddie, I do not have that knack of writing, but idea मेरे पास सारे हैं. मैं अगर करना चाहूँ तो मैं 5 किताब लिख दूँ. So the other day when I was talking to one of my friends, he is a really learned person, but he is not very good into writing or creating sentences and phrases and stories. तो उससे बात करते करते we discuss, so you really do not need to be a very good skilled trained writer who have a excellent command over grammar and sentences and substances. You can scribble your thoughts and ideas without worrying about the outcome and grammatical mistakes. So the best possible situation could be you can start writing for your blog. You can start writing in your post without feeling judged. If not the complete sentences, but just few lines if you can start with. So much so you can start creating voice notes. So if you are not good into writing, then it is very good that while you are driving, while you are going away, while you are at a holiday or at a vacation, you can always do the creative voice notes. We are the blessed generation in last 10 decades to have this kind of technological advancement we are living with. Now this technological advancement should work into our favor rather than, it distracts us and just comes to only YouTube and social media and stuff. Also, if you want to be a writer, indulge into storytelling. That is the essence of human life. Now, if you learn this art of storytelling, you will see inevitably you are more closer towards the society. People will start loving you because every time to explain a concept, even to your kids, even to your children, if you explain them a concept, ye aise kar lo, rather than putting it through a narrative story, would make much more sense. This is psychologically proved that human mind understands story and works much faster when they have to comprehend a story or they have to live a story rather than just following orders. Now many here in the workshop are also with struggling situation that I have the idea, I know, मुझको पता है कि मुझे भगवान शिव के ऊपर किताब लिखनी है, मुझको पता है कि मुझे मोटर स्पोर्ट्स के ऊपर किताब लिखनी है, but I cannot. So you have the facility today that you can hire a ghost writer. Now, what is a ghost writer? Now, ghost writer is again a person like you and me who takes money to write on your idea. So just to give you an example, if you hire a ghost writer, it will charge you 3 rupees a word. So for instance, a book of 1 lakh word would cost you 3 lakh rupees to get it written by an ex person who is anonymous. You will get your name on the book, but it is written by somebody else. It would be your idea, it would be your notes, which the ghostwriter would be writing, and you can finally see it, prove, and do the proofreading and get it executed. Now, ghostwriting also in two ways. One is that you make your notes, say you done 15,000 words, and you give your manuscript. Now, the ghostwriter will expand those 15,000 words into 60,000 words. Will make it more beautiful, narrative, and readable. Now, in a situation where you are not able to give even 15,000 words, there you give up a short 1500 word का टूटी फूटी इंग्लिश में, खराब हिंदी में, with just a concept. That this is my concept, these are my characters on which I want to get a book written. Now, these are ways which people can adopt, and I'm sure there are multiple more ways. which one can use to pass on the knowledge, to pass on the situation. Now, here is the accomplishment. The book which I have written, it is for 96,000 words, which I have finally edited many and many times over before it could actually hit the market and become the bestseller. This is a big basics about the book, that if you want to learn and grow in life, start exploring the word inside you and believe the omnipresent genius. Now, I believe that every human is born with a genius, a guardian spirit allocated at birth. Our whole life is inside our mind, which is a prism reflecting the light of everything around and within us. Caged in this mind is the little me, helping us, talking to us, questioning us, and nurturing us all along the way. Even when nobody believes in us, the little me does. It evolves in multiple realms. The only sustenance it gets is through introspection and reflection done in the state of awareness. The eternal conversations we have, our struggles for justifications and morals, and our gut feelings are what shape the voice of our little me. It grows inside the spiritual realm of energy and the soul as we also grow with each new experience in life. The self, the ego, and the pride evolve from and dissolve within a person's little me. Every time we indulge in self doubt and self pity, the little me loses a little bit of its brilliance, but eventually it thrives on the knowledge we acquire in life and assists us to transform it into wisdom. In pursuit of maintaining our outer self, we get so engrossed that this little me gets abandoned in the wilderness of darkness created by us. In this book, you will find the reflection of everyone's inner self and the little me protected by spirit guide genius that's guiding us to learn and rejoice every moment of being alive despite the perplexities of life. Now, these are few what you say uh, uh,
Recommendations,
like reviews written on
reviews and
Amazon
recommend.
and Goodreads and lot of other social platforms where what people have described. This book contains 59 chapters. Every chapter is basically a facet of my life, how I have learned. Now, this is one of a very interesting review which somebody has written, and he's gone so deeply into writing the complete review that what he understood. And now the book, when I planned, the genre was a self-help book. Later on, when it merged and it has become one of its kind of a book where it is kind of a novel where there is a story running for Vikas. I am that fictional character Vikas, where the story is running while the lessons are being given. So it's one of a different kind of a structure which I have made, which was not, which still is not existing. If you go and find self-help book, it only talks about motivation and self-help. There is no story running. So this book is unique in its own self because there is a story which is running parallelly along with the life lessons which I have got and further shared as a wisdom to people. So rest, you can always go on to Amazon and see the reviews, what people talk about, how they like the book, and what is the importance of the book. So this is all what I could share through my journey of writing and becoming an author and now being awarded and being recommended to many more places to come and give uh, shout outs and topics and talk about it. So handing over to you guys, thank you very much for patiently understanding and listening the entire session. I am open for all question and answers where we can talk.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Thanks a lot for sharing all your experience and knowledge with each one of us. I'm sure many of us are inspired to take the next step and start writing a book. And thank you all for being there. It's open to questions. Some of us had to leave because they had prior commitments. All the same, you made it a huge success. And Eddie, every word that you said was from the heart because it was experienced. And we thoroughly enjoyed it. And yes, has left many of us with a dream. You can carry on with your questions. Thank you for being there and thank you for making it a huge success, and have a wonderful weekend. And we look forward to more in our next meet. Over to anybody who wants to ask a question.
Yeah, good afternoon. Very, very engrossing session, and I think this is some sort of a guidance that many people actually need. So what I want to know basically is, when do you approach a publisher? Say you have an idea, you've written something, but when does a publisher come into picture, and how difficult or easy it would be for a first time person who doesn't have really an experience in this?
Sarita, before you reach out to the publisher is the manuscript. Once you are done with your manuscript, that is the time that you can think of self-publishing it. There are two ways to go about it. You can go with self-publishing. It is not very difficult these days. You can apply for an ISBN number, which is easily available, and you can go for a Kindle version if you are not looking for a big kind of a situation for printing physical books and all. So that is something Kindle Direct does. So the first step is that you complete your manuscript.
Okay.
You know, once you are done with your manuscript, once your editing is done and everything is done, that is the time when the topic of a publisher or a self-publishing thing would come.
Okay.
Anybody else? Is that all for the day? I think everybody is quite into themselves कि अब करना क्या है आगे types, you know.
I am always available. You guys can reach me on Instagram or on Facebook. My numbers are there. In fact, a lot of people from ICBI called up for writing a book. I helped them, giving whatever knowledge I had. And I really look forward to helping other people also. In case you have any queries in writing a book, in publishing it, I have been through that journey, and I am again on a journey of writing the second and the third version of it. So that will subsequently come in a year or so. So anyone who would like to understand further can connect with me, and I'll be more than happy and pleased to help you guys.
That is so wonderful of you. That's really, really thoughtful of you to offer it to all of us. Thank you once again. And if there are no more questions, we can call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the entire process and the story, which is very close to Eddie's heart. And I loved it. I enjoyed it. I am getting inspired. Most of my work is done, but still it inspires me even more to push it through. And thank you once again, all of you. Eddie, big, big thank you to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Really look forward for your love and support.
Yes, and wish you all the best and much more success in the coming years with all your new books. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.